On last week's programme, the team finally make it to Antarctica. But there's bad news for Lucia when, for medical reasons, she's told she's off the team. Despite being unable to land at Point Wild, the expedition and support teams do make a historic landing on Elephant Island at Cape Valentine. Now the team is sailing to South Georgia to traverse the island by the same route taken by Ernest Shackleton and his men 90 years ago. A journey that will take them beyond endurance. Our heroes are in the middle of the South Atlantic. They have left Elephant Island behind them and are heading for South Georgia. With only 2 days until they reach the island, the ship has been adapted for training.
Everyone here on the ship are now preparing for the South Georgia traverse. They're doing rope training, crevasse training, putting up the tent craft, sorting gear. So it's great in one way that we're able to keep all of the team occupied because we have such a size ship, so that we'll actually keep their mind prepared for when they're going to land at South Georgia in 2 days' time.
The notorious Drake Passage is unusually calm. Do you know that kind of way?
It's calm enough there now. Most of them aren't complaining, but my stomach's doing nuts anyway, seasickness and whatnot, you know. But I'm just trying to keep an eye on the horizon there, because to say that calms it down or whatever, you know. You can see yourself there, it's very, very calm, but I don't know why it's at me then, you know, kind of, it's just not used to it. I suppose, even back home, like even on the swings I'd get sick, you know, kind of, so swings in the park would make me sick, so it came up once or twice, but I just got the whole load and swallowed it back down kind of job, you know. So.
There's so much wax the legs next.
Shackleton's crew, I think they got bored mid-winter time, so they all shaved their heads. So it's just in keeping with that spirit, you know.
Having been marooned on the ice in Antarctica for 14 months and with no hope of rescue from Elephant Island, Shackleton handpicked 4 men and set sail in a lifeboat, crossing 600 miles of the dangerous southern Atlantic Ocean to reach South Georgia. Against all odds, they reached the island. But to reach the safety of the whaling station, they had to cross the uncharted interior, riddled with crevasses and towering glaciers. Our team aimed to follow in their footsteps, and they aimed to leave no trace of their visit.
They should sit down over it, off with a bag each.
One thing I'd like to know is these wag bags, look. We all know what they're for.
No, we don't. Explain.
Well, they're for going to the toilet in a wilderness environment, that you don't leave anything behind you to bring with you.
Thank you.
But how can you possibly put satisfaction guaranteed in the bottom of a bag like that? In fairness.
With just 24 hours before the ship arrives at South Georgia, the final gear check gets underway. Cliff is about to feel sick for a totally different reason.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to call out items, and what I want you to do is I call them out, I want you to put them in the bag. If anyone doesn't have the item I call out, I want them to say there and then that they haven't got it. Everybody has a down jacket or a similar jacket. You have no down jacket. Why don't you have a down jacket? Are you sure? But why didn't you tell me that when we were inside Nishua? We could have sorted it. We're out in the middle of the ocean now, like. Okay, because if you're not sorted with a down jacket or a rain jacket, you're not going. Okay? Right. You have no pee bottle. You do need a pee bottle. If it's a case of stormy, like, you know, we want you to pee in the tent. Has anyone got a spare pee bottle? All right, so because I'm sure no one wants your pee in their bottle if it's a case we're trapped in a storm. So can you sort...
This is not the first time that Cliff has been caught short, and his cheap plastic rain gear could cost him dear.
Okay, I can leave that.
Are you joking?
No.
Are they any good?
Well, no, they're not any good, and what's going to happen now is But if it's a case that we can't actually replace him at this stage from the rest of the support team, we just have to drop him off the team. Right,
You can't take the chance.
This is 10 times, like he's been away on different trips with us and things like that. He exactly knew what was required, but cut down weight and shortcut if he brought something, he got to the shop.
In a cruel twist of irony, Lucia, who was taken off the team, comes to Cliff's rescue by lending him her own gear.
You never know. But these can be used for men or women. They're very easy. There's a liquid in them that solidifies them, and then you can go to
We're just going up to see the captain because we have to deal with the emergency procedures in the event of a rescue on South Georgia, because we have to get all the gear off and get the people off. So we just need to make sure everything is coordinated. We have a rescue contingency that we're all okay with that, because if anything goes wrong, that's our out.
That's the idea. You arrive to Cape Shackleton, you call us,
yes,
say everything okay, then we start leaving.
Yeah.
So the first contingency plan is actually that they return to the ship at King Haakon Bay, which is the worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario.
But it would be the first retreat, correct?
Correct.
The team will follow the exact route taken by Shackleton in 1916, starting in King Haakon Bay, passing the Trident Towers, crossing the Crean Glacier, skirting Fortuna Bay, and finishing 38 kilometres later at the whaling station at Stromness. Daybreak, and everyone is on standby. But the weather is bad. And the forecast for tomorrow is even more worrying. If the Traverse team don't get ashore within the next 24 hours, the expedition will have to be aborted.
It looks like today is going to be no-goer. Our wind speed is about 30 to 40 knots, which is too high actually for us to cross the glacier today. We have a forecast for Thursday, which is bad. There's a low pressure coming in. Unless that we can move tomorrow, well, we may have to abort the whole expedition.
The weather system over the mountains is so bad that it would be pointless for the Irish team to even attempt to go ashore. South Georgia is tantalizingly close, but there is nothing anyone can do but wait and watch. The team have been waiting for 3 hours now, with no sign of improvement. Time is not on their side. Without warning, the wind drops and a break appears in the clouds. Pat takes the gamble and decides to go for it.